I wonder how many of us are living out our dreams, or even have a life work that they want to get back to or were interrupted from. My dream of creating beautiful art has opened up Pandora's box for living expenses, time management, the cost of supplies. I also find that my hands are hurting these days. I'm getting older. Maybe it's time for me to teach. There's so much more to art than what is taught in school. My hope is to provide to both child and adult the needed tools to re-engineer the proverbial box we all try to think outside of. Start a beginning class on cooking, and we'll open a cookbook to read the instructions on what measure of salt to include in preparing a meal. This predefined measure of salt is the fate for many in life. The chef, the artist, flavors his dish according to taste, realizing each spoonful served will taste different depending on what was tasted just prior, the choice of water or wine, the ambiance of the room, our dinner companion, and on factor into decisions. All have everything to do with the flavor and enjoyment of the meal. A meal's preparation must also consider freshness, the changing seasons, and if prepared at a restaurant, one must also consider whether the owner will profit from a selective menu. I hope to give not only an understanding of art, but what one must consider during art creation to receive sufficient marketable value.
Can you teach me to draw? Can you teach me to create art?
Of course I can.
But I can't draw a straight line.
Listen, and I'll give you a beginner and an advanced course all rolled into one. Take this paper and put a dot on the left side. Now put another dot on the right, just a little higher than the first. You've drawn your first line. What a beautiful and straight line it is.
But I haven't drawn the line yet.
Oh, but you have. You've drawn the line in your mind. You've connected the dots with what one might call an imaginary line. But this line is just as real as any other. And any other line you've ever seen throughout your entire life is stored in the same place as the line you just drew. They register and are recorded in your mind. What's more amazing is that your line has properties that can be adjusted and manipulated to enhance its richness, form, and character. And these properties can be adjusted independently of the sheet of paper from which your line was created. The difference between learning to play a song and giving a performance that pulls tears of joy from the audience to bring down the house is an understanding of various properties and subtle adjustments that can be made. Obtaining knowledge will get us far. Exacting maximum advantage will take us farther. I hope to create a series of video lessons that will carry my students over the threshold. The business model will be of providing basic lessons on YouTube and free to download from our website, with a subscription price for advanced courses. Away from the site, I will do lectures and speaking engagements to promote the site, as well as show and sell art, originals, and prints at the events. A mathematician may have an expressive way of writing numbers and characters on his chalkboard. The next mathematician might also have a particular style to the way he writes on the board. In comparing the two, we find one to have a beauty that we prefer over the other. This is most people's understanding of art, a series of judgments about the look, character, form, and expressiveness of a series of marks, colors, shapes, etc. Sal Khan of KhanAcademy.org is my inspiration and has this to say in one of his introduction to algebra videos. Speaking about Galileo Galilei,
he said, philosophy is written in that great book which ever lies before our eyes. I mean the universe. But we cannot understand it if we do not first learn the language and grasp the symbols in which it is written. This book is written in the mathematical language, without which one wanders in vain through a dark labyrinth. So very dramatic, but very deep. We're going to start getting to core ideas that start explaining really how the universe is structured. Sure, these ideas can be applied to things like economics and finance and physics and chemistry, but at their core, they're the same idea, and so they're even more fundamental, more pure than any one of those applications.
The artist must see beyond mastering materials and techniques. Whether it be paint, music, or dance, the form are but symbols written to the chalkboard. Beneath them, underlying the symbols, is to express an order to our universe and the many ways it can be manipulated. The sinister Adolf Hitler studied art before moving into politics, and much is written about the effectiveness of his propaganda machine. Effectiveness which was driven largely by visual art, music, choreography, and impactful literature. He saw that art was more than just pretty pictures. To follow my plan of creating attractive and philosophical and instructional material, I'll need an income. I will not ask for donations, but hope to offer something of value in exchange for other things of value. An art show, community meeting, and dinner will be held at the Church of the Atonement, Saturday, January 5th, 2013, from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. to discuss the many ways that my art and talents can be used to bring about and channel funds toward this effort. The address is 4945 Highpoint Road, Atlanta, Georgia 30342. Turkey and dressing and all the fixings are on the menu. I hope you can join us. Please don't wait for the meeting to reply with ideas, suggestions, and opportunities, and if you have them, request for art. One other matter of concern. Because of an error, I've lost nearly all of my phone numbers and most information about who owns what piece of art. If you could reply with your contact information, and if you own artwork of mine, could you please describe or send pictures? My email address is bestartistever@jeromelawrence.net. In loving kindness, Jerome Lawrence.